6 weeks, that's all it took Ethan Page to absolutely take over this.
If you come at the king, you best not miss.
Acknowledge us.
Hey, it's the Red Carpet Reign featuring TBK, the Turnbuckle King. Got a good one for you guys today. We'll talk about WWE NXT results, winners, grades, reaction, highlights for After Heatwave 2024. So we are fresh off the Heatwave PLE, the great PLE that was this past Sunday that was in Toronto, Canada. But definitely a solid one, guys. And of course, we're going to go over what went wrong with NXT. And also we'll go over the bonus round. And we will talk about Roxanne Perez, her current NXT Women's Championship run. Who will be her next challenger? Who will be the one to defeat her? Which women that I see in my horizon will defeat Roxanne for her coveted NXT Women's Championship? So we're going to talk about that as well. But meanwhile, let's see who came into the ring before we start. We got Figure 4 TV. Salute to you. Appreciate all the support you have for the channel and everything of sort. Really appreciate that. Like I said, it's gonna be a good, interesting one to say least about NXT. Like I said, there was some things to talk about, some things not to talk about. But other than that, though, that was the whole thing. Really was no big match card. It was just, wasn't much to talk about on this particular NXT, but there still was some stuff that was advertised for this NXT. I know it was some segments and some matches, but for the most part, it was just segment. It was a little bit of both, I should say. For NXT. And if you guys want to take a moment to look over that, if you want to take time to look over that real quick before I get into NXT, we'll talk about what was the match card for NXT. So let's talk about that real quick. All right, that is the match card. Like I said, we'll go over the main stuff for NXT, but on X and Facebook, when we get to the bonus round, we all say our goodbyes there. Now, the way to kick it off, we know that Ethan Page, in a shocker, he won the NXT Championship, and then he cut a promo saying in 6 weeks he already won the NXT Championship. It was a big, shocking win. However, it was in a 4-way match between himself, the champion Trick Williams, Javon Evans, and Shawn Spears. Trick Williams was not pitting this match. It was Javon Evans, and it was actually Trick who hit the trick shot on Ethan Page, and he fell onto Javon Evans for the pinfall. So that was an interesting part in that. Very, very unpredictable finish. Now he comes out, Trick Williams, the previous champion, obviously not excited about losing the NXT Championship at Heatwave. He said that he wants a rematch for his title. And next thing you know, we had everybody come out. It was not just Trick, it was Shawn Spears came out, then Javon Evans. They all came out, and it was later announced it would be a tag team match. The tag team match, it will be Trick Williams and Javon versus Ethan and the NXT champion Ethan now and Shawn Spears. So that was a tag team match. That was supposed to be the tag team match, I should say. But that was to kick off the whole NXT show. Later on, like I said, I'm gonna go over the main stuff. Wes Lee, remember he lost the match against Oba Femi, and it was for the NXT North American Championship. And it said here that he was going to make an announcement regarding his future in NXT. Shall he continue on in NXT? Should he end it right then and there? But before he was going to, get into what he was going to say, he met some old friends called the Rascals. Trey Miguel, and I forgot the other guy's name. They are currently in TNA, and they tag team with Wes Lee in the past. Wes Lee started his career as a tag team competitor, and they told Wes Lee, "You had a great career." Told him, "You're the best NXT North American champion ever," until Oba Femi stepped on the scene. I disagree with that statement. He was until Oba Femi came along. He was. It was Velveteen Dream, then Wes Lee, then we had, of course, now Oba Femi, the current NXT North American champion. Meanwhile, they said you should continue on with your career. So they reunited. The Rascals reunite. They're going to be a tag team. So those guys are going to tag together. We'll see how that goes. Wes Lee, I don't know what's going to be. I guess he's going to be back in the tag team. It seemed like WWE, in my opinion, I'm just going off what I see. It seemed like as a singles competitor, it seemed like, I don't know, it seemed like they lost faith in Wes Lee. They don't believe he has what it takes to become a very reliable singles competitor because he had that bad back injury. Maybe he's at risk for that. I don't know, but it seemed like they. I don't know that why they put him back in the tag team. That's how he started. Normally, when WWE or any wrestling promotion does this with the whole tag team, use a singles competitor. I mean, maybe because he needs a break from the North American scene, a singles competitor. I don't know what the case may be. But he is a good tag team competitor, but we want to see Wes Lee in singles action. That's how I like him. He is amazing. One of the best on NXT roster. So, OPEC, salute to you. Said, I feel like Wes Lee is main roster ready. That's where I thought they was going to go with him. I thought, as I said, I don't know if they lost faith in him or what. He's going to turn heel on them. Possibly. Big 4 TJ, the Peeps look real good last night. Yeah, he might turn heel. He has to, because what's next for him? What's next for Wes Lee? That's the whole question. And I like Wes Lee. The boy is bad. He's one of the best on the roster. I think he should have got called a little bit after Carmelo Hayes. Honestly, he's been doing it that long. But that's my opinion on that, though. He might turn heel. That might be the best option for him to turn heel, because Wes Lee definitely has what it takes to do his thing on the roster. I'm not taking nothing away from Wes Lee. I'm not taking nothing from him at all. I think it'll be solid, if he does that. So we got to see what happens next. It might be his last year NXT, definitely. I hope so, because if not, it seems like I don't know where else to go with him. And maybe early next year, maybe he does decide to go. Maybe he does go to the main roster. Maybe he does go to Raw or SmackDown. But there's nothing else more for him to do unless you're going to have a push for him to win the NXT Championship. That would be interesting. Maybe it's a setup for him to. Maybe he's sticking around to turn on these guys or whatever, and then become NXT champion. So, and I don't want to hear nothing about his size because Carmelo Hayes ain't that much bigger than him, and he was NXT champion. So maybe it is as many options for Wes Lee. Yeah, well, he's been NXT North American champion. Maybe he gets that as a heel and later on win the NXT championship. But I really hope NXT really do something with him because he's definitely a talented guy. I really hope they do something with him. But there are many angles they can go, as OPEC said. I really are. So I hope that's the case with Wes Lee. Please do something with this man. He can move in the ring. He could definitely move in the ring. So I would like to see what the next move is going to be for Wes Lee. At least I would like to, because he's been in NXT for quite some time now. We know that. We know he's been in the game for a while. We know he's been around. So we're going to see what's next for Wes Lee. So I would love to see what's going to be for the next step for him. Because Wes Lee, of course, like I said, great talent, always shows up, always steps out, always. I don't never I rarely ever hear bad performance out of him. I rarely ever hear that because he can't perform in the ring. So I don't. We're gonna see what's next for Wes Lee on NXT after this whole tag team reunite with the Rascals. The new kid is the next best thing to Javon. Yeah, Javon is good too, but he's brand new. Wes Lee got the experience over him. He has the experience over him, and they say experience is the best teacher. But you're right about that, though. Definitely has what it takes. He definitely has a future in NXT. He definitely can take it to the top. I'm not down that, not one bit, not one bit at all. The thing about it is, we got to see. Javon got to stay healthy. Like I said, Wesley just came back from back injury, so as long that high flying style is very risky. We got to keep that in mind. It's gonna be very risky. We got to take notate some things you can't, and some things are going to be very very risky, and the wrong move could cost you your career. That's what we don't want for that matter. So we'll see what happens next. But other than that though, it's solid. It'll be a solid thing. I'm not sure what they're going to do next, but it'll be interesting to see what happens next. Other than that, guys, Wes Lee, he definitely one of the best on the roster. Joe Henry is over with the crowd. Yeah, he was definitely over. We think it's better. Yeah, definitely. I like Wesley. So Wesley, he gonna be good. He gonna be a solid dude. He's gotta keep it together, and I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine. From in my opinion, But other than that, we'll get on with the whole segment and everything else. Now, also, like I said, it's mostly segments. I'm gonna talk half segments. Um, we recently had another segment on the show in Attack. You guys know that another part of the show too. Brooks Jensen, he attacked Javon Evans backstage. We know that recently he was reinstated to NXT. They gave him another chance storyline. He's been a guy in the crowd. They're trying to find a good angle for Brooks Jensen. I don't know what the case is going to be with Brooks Jensen. I'm not sure what's going to happen next with him, but we'll see. We'll see what the next move is going to be. We'll see what the next move is going to be with Brooks Jensen. He is getting another chance. Remember, it was supposed to be a tag team match scheduled. Supposed to be Javon and Trick versus Ethan and Sean. And long story short, Javon, when he was attacked, he was taken out of the equation. He was not cleared to wrestle because of Brooks Jensen. So I don't know what they're going to do with him, but it seems like they're going a real good angle with him. I hope they really do something with him because I see a lot of potential of this heel character. He has some potential, and he's going to take it to the top. Then Wesley wrestled on the main. That was Dragon Lee, and he's still on the main roster. Brooks Jensen's underrated, very underrated in my opinion. I hope he gets a push. I hope so too. I hope he does get a push. We're going to see what happens next as far as that goes. He does definitely has that, but that's the angle they're going with him. He was the reason that Javon Evans could not compete, and it was fairly clearly of that. So as a result, Dragon Lee was taken. I'm sorry, Javon Evans was taken out. He could not compete in a tag team match. It means that Trick Williams will have to find another tag team partner. Meanwhile, before we get to the main event of the show, see how he took him out, and they was definitely upset him for that. Meanwhile, there were other matches. I'll get into it right now. A lot of matches here. You had Thea Hale defeat Izzy Dame. They had a one-on-one match. Let's see, they had a one-on-one match. Thea Hale made her tap out. Then we had Ruca versus Fallon Henley. As you see, it was in a DQ. JC Jane and Jasmine Nix both attacked Ruca, and that seemed like they're gonna have a new alliance here. So that was other stuff that was happening on with the show here with NXT. So we'll see what happens next. But as like I said, Trick Williams, he got word that he needed a tag team partner. He got word who would tag with Trick Williams. So they made a segment about that backstage. So let's get to that. Trick Williams, he was looking to see who his new tag team partner would be, and also they showed that it was Joe Hendry from TNA. I don't know much about him. I know he's over, very popular with the crowd, and he has this whole, I know he does like a cooking segment. I don't know much about him as a wrestler, but I heard he's pretty dope. I haven't watched TNA in a while. I used to watch it. I haven't watched it in a minute. Haven't watched it in a while. But meanwhile, he ended up becoming Trick Williams' tag team partner. In the main event, they had a tag team match, and they won. Ethan Page, the NXT champion, was attacked by Aura Mensa, who attacked him, and Ethan Page ran the arena. Meanwhile, it was Trick Williams and Joe Hendry. They tag team up on it, ganged up on Sean Spears. They got him 1, 2, 3. Joe Hendry got the pin. He was over, and the crowd loved him. Even when his entrance stream was on, he was very, very, very over. And as you see, we had another TNA NXT crossover. So this was the best match of the night. Very entertaining. Joe Hendry, like, he can move in the ring a little bit. So this is the best match, and it closed out the show. So very good with that, very solid with that. Now, like I said, want that much more to be said regarding that. Meanwhile, we're gonna get to, let's see what you guys gotta say. I feel like Trick Williams has potential as a heel. I do too. I'm not a big fan of him as a babyface, but he's over with the crowd with his song, catchy thing. Yeah, Joe Hendry's catchy. Very entertaining match. This is the second best NXT era. Yeah, it is. It's almost neck and neck with the original Black and Gold. Stopped at 2.0 era. Yeah, I came in the middle of 2.0 era. Wasn't all that. That was pretty much Braun Breaker who got him out that 2.0 era. I was part of Black and Gold era. Epic stuff. Definitely epic stuff. Very entertaining match. But let's go over my NXT rating. And let's see, we'll go over that right now. That was to close out the show. Now the NXT rating, 3.3 out of 5. Wasn't the best show, wasn't the worst show either. Some people that can't believe I said that, but I did.
Tell me you did not just say that.
So yes, it was a 3 out of 5 show. It was okay. A lot of matches weren't good. Good segments. The main event was good, but yes, I agree. Yep, Braun Breaker got him out that drought. 3 out of 5 for NXT. Like I said, Wes Lee, great segment. Ruca, Fallon Henley are average. The Heritage Cup match, I mean, that's another part. As you guys know, Tony D retained against Lexis King. He is still the NXT Heritage Cup champion. One must talk about there, so I didn't get into it. And then, of course, the tag team OTM versus I don't know if we'll call them the OC, the Good Brothers. That was okay too. Want my cup of tea necessarily. It was all right. But other than that, the best match was the main event. Trick and Joe Hendry versus Sean and Ethan Page NXT champion. Other than that, 3 out of 5 average. And then 2, OPEC said when's the next stream. I might do a stream later today, OPEC, of a top list of champions. If not today, tomorrow. And then, of course, we have Saturday morning is SmackDown. But before Saturday, I will probably do a stream later on this afternoon, maybe 5, 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. OPEC said I met Ethan Page before. Very nice. That's cool. I like his character. All ego. I like his character. But this was solid. It was okay show. Want the best. You know, I'll expect a little bit more because we just had Heatwave, but I guess everybody need a break. They need to refresh, start over, because they do have the NXT Great American Bash coming up, and that's a month from now. Now let's go over, before we get into the bonus round, what went wrong with NXT. Let's get into that for a moment. And I'll go over a few things that went wrong. Let's go over the basics. No Roxanne Perez or Lola Vice. I didn't see neither one of them on the show. I know they had a good, very amazing match at NXT Heatwave for the NXT Women's Championship. We did not see Roxanne or Lola. I don't remember seeing them unless they was mentioned. And since they weren't wrestling, they could at least one of them had a tag match or a segment if they weren't going to have a singles match. I thought those two not being there was a big, big part of the show. Why the show, lackluster, performance and others and such. There was no NXT Women's Champion, nor there was even the former number one contender, which was Lola Vice. So that I had an issue with. That. That was my issue regarding what went wrong with NXT. Another thing, most of the matches were trash. Let's be honest here. The matches weren't that good. They were either subpar or mediocre. They weren't the best. Thea Hale versus Izzy Dane. Didn't care for that one. Ruca versus Fallon Henley. Didn't care for that one. Mark Coffey and Wolfgang with Joe Colby versus Tyson DuPont and Tyrick Igwe. Didn't care for that one either. And this one was really bad, guys. Arianna Grace versus Karmen Petrovic. Really lousy. That was like the first match of the night. And Arianna, I like her character and all, but she's not the best in the ring. Let's be honest. She's Santino Morella's daughter, and her looks. She looks very nice body. Karmen looks good too. Carmen's the better of the two, but this was not the best match. Heritage Cup, this was a very average match too. Tony D'Angelo defending against Lexis King. A lot of these matches weren't that great, guys, and that's why it got a 3 out of 5 rating, in my opinion. And if it weren't for Joe Hendry showing up, making a cameo appearance, and competing in the main event as Trick Williams' tag team partner, since Javon Evans taken out, it would have got a worse rate. Probably would have got a 2.5, honestly. So that I saw an issue as well. The matches just were not good. The only match that were good was the main event, and I guess you could say that Tony D'Angelo match was average, but the real good match was that one. I did not care for that one at all. Did not care for that one at all. Not at all. Trash. And with that being said, both of those things put them on the list.
You just made the list!
That's for the matches with trash, but we're going to say the one for no Roxanne or Lola. How could you? That makes the list too.
You just made the list!
So that was another issue I have. And one more thing I will go over that I had a problem with. I'm getting real tired of this whole NXT assistant general manager, Mr. Stone and Stevie Turner angle. I mean, we got Ava as NXT general manager. I get it. They have to compliment for Raw and SmackDown having general managers, and Adam Pearce on Raw, Nick Aldis on SmackDown. I understand they got to have one. This whole assistant general manager role is trash. We don't need it. And then always Mr. Stone and Stevie Turner trying to one-up each other of who have a better idea for Ava, who could be her number one. Man, that's trash. Nix that. I've been seeing that for weeks. Nix that. I'm getting tired of that, period. That needs to be gone. Please get rid of that. And with that being said, that makes the list too.
You just made the list!
So I'm not feeling that at all. I think that's terrible. I'm tired of that. Also, guys, when you come to the ring, make sure you hit the like, subscribe button, and keep the notification bell on. because I'm cooking right now. I'm getting on NXT right now. No, one more thing that I had an issue with as well. One more thing I had an issue with. Last issue I had as well. This no disrespect to these guys. Cedric Alexander and Ashanti on NXT. Why? Why? NXT roster is full. NXT has more than enough talent. I like Cedric Alexander. I like what he does in the ring. Shanti's cool too, but I don't think NXT really needs these guys on the roster. I think it's unnecessary. And I think this is a last-ditch effort before Cedric Alexander gets released from the company. I'm sorry to say that for Cedric Alexander fans. I know you don't like to hear that, but it's true. I think it's a last-ditch effort. And I've been wondering what's going on with Cedric Alexander this whole time. He's been wrestling dark matches on SmackDown or Raw. He ain't been involved in no angle. He may have 1-2 matches on TV in the past several months. But now they're moving him to NXT, and this was a part segment of the show. Stevie Turner got Cedric Alexander, and then Robert Stone got the Ashanti dude. And it's back to what I said. There's a connection to my other issue. This whole assistant general manager and Mr. Stone, Stevie Turner trying to one up each other. It don't make sense, and this definitely don't make sense. So again, this makes the list.
You just made the list!
So unless Cedric Alexander does something very impactful on NXT, unless he's going to get a huge push, which I highly doubt, he makes a big impact on the brand and helping further his career. If I don't see that happening, I really don't see why he should be on the roster. I don't see why he would even make sense to be on the roster. I think he will get released ultimately. I know people don't like to hear that. I think that's the way it will go down. So I just don't see it, guys. I'm sorry. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. But that's just me. And I think this is a bad idea. Bad idea. Says the new Baron Corbin of NXT. Definitely. Yep, match with trash. Oh, Figure 4 TV, salute to you. Thank you for letting them know that. Yes, OPEC, that's my second channel, Toxic Ring Scandal, aka KDH, where I talk about scandals behind the scenes, backstage drama, whether it's current wrestling or old school wrestling, men and women in particular. And yes, I go live every day, both channels. But yeah, there's 2 channels. And I even have a 3rd channel for Pink Square Circle for women's wrestling, Figure 4 TV. If OPEC is interested, if you want to drop the link for anyone that wants to check out the Pink Square Circle, if you get that from me, I appreciate that. But yeah, they need to nix that, the whole general manager idea. And this is trash. This is trash. It's not going anywhere. But that's all I have for NXT. My rating, I already stated my rating on it. I already stated how I felt about the show. This is the NXT results, winners, live grade, reaction, and highlights after NXT Heatwave 2024. For people that's on X and Facebook, please shift your way over to Red Carpet Ring on YouTube. I'm going to go to the bonus round shortly. So let's get into it, and we're going to talk about Roxanne Perez of who's going to defeat her for her NXT Women's Championship. We'll get to that in a moment. All right, all right. We are here at the bonus round. We are here at the bonus round. Let's check it out. We are here. We are here. We're going to here to talk about who is the next one to defeat Roxanne for our NXT Women's Championship. All right, OPEC, salute to you, man. Thank you for coming out. We're going to get to the bonus round here. We're going to talk about Roxanne Perez, her current NXT Women's Championship run. We're going to see who is a formidable challenger for Roxanne's championship. And we're going to see who will be the next one, as she recently just defeated recently defeated Lola Vice. I'm sorry. Mine went blank for a second. Who is going to face her after she defeated Lola Vice at NXT Heatwave? We're going to see who the next opponent for her is, because we know Roxanne's in her second run. And this is she had the belt for 3 months. So she's been doing very good in her run. So we got to give that to Roxanne. She's defeated a lot of people. She's defeated Lyra Valkyria. She's defeated Jordan Grace. She now defeated Lola Vice and Natalia. She defeated definitely a good amount of people. But now we got to find a new challenger for Roxanne Perez. Who are the challengers that could be the challenger? Well, we can start with the obvious. Maybe Lola Vice gets a rematch. Maybe she gets a rematch. Maybe we can get her a rematch. Lola Vice did lose at fair and square at Heatwave. Maybe they run this back. Maybe Lola Vice challenges her again, and this time maybe Lola Vice defeats her, and maybe she could become the new women's NXT champion. That could be the case here. We have only time will tell, but I have a feeling that with the NXT Heatwave, despite Lola losing, I don't think this is the end of Lola Vice and her quest to become an NXT Women's Champion. I think there's going to be more, and I think she could eventually take the belt from Roxanne. I don't know when that's going to be necessarily, but I could very well see that happening. We got to keep an eye on that. Lola Vice, see, Figure 4 TV season 2, she could be the one to take the belt off her. I think she's the top person to get the belt off of Roxanne, because she very, very well has what it takes to become champion. It's just what happened in the Heatwave match. Lola Vice was showboating a little bit too much. She was, shaking what her mama gave her, and it cost her the win. And she should have just kept it cool and focused on defeating Roxanne, just like Roxanne focused on defeating on her. And that's what led to Roxanne retaining and Lola losing. But I do see this match happening in the future. We just don't know when. Now, another person I have on hand, very well, Cora Jade. I talked about this on the NXT Heatwave review. Cora Jade, she is returned from an ACL injury. She's supposed to come back soon. She's supposed to return from injury. Let's keep that in mind. Figure 4 TV said, this is what Lola Vice she's talking about. Facts, she don't have to beat Ross to get the strap. Triple threat, she will win. Definitely. But Cora Jade, she is she's gonna come back from injury. And I heard before she got injured with the ACL injury that she was in line to become NXT Women's Champion. I don't know if they shifted over to Roxanne instead. That was second option. Because remember, her and Roxanne have history. They could play off these two, they were the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. This belt no longer exists, by the way. It got merged with the Women's Tag Team titles. But these two have a history together, and maybe they play off that. I know Cora turned on Roxanne, when they were tag team champions. That's how they lost. Cora just left her out to be, fed to the wolves pretty much. But they could go off this history now, and maybe Cora is the baby face in this one, and also Roxanne could be the heel like she is now. They could go off that very well. This could be a very good story with these two, and it could lead to ultimately Cora Jade winning the women's NXT champion, because she's never been NXT women's champion. She's a good second option behind Lola Vice. That's just a good one there. Now we're gonna go over to this is the small opponents, Roxanne's size. Now we're gonna go to the larger size women, big competitors. And what I mean by that, I mean like a Lash Legend. Maybe she's another option too. Lash Legend did compete for the NXT North American Women's Championship at Battleground. She was even one of the favorites to win, but she did not win that match. Maybe she has a bigger quest in mind. Maybe she rather goes for the NXT Women's Champion because that will be Roxanne's biggest challenge yet. Think about it. Roxanne in her run, in her 3-month run as champion, she's never defeated a woman that's large and big. Maybe Lash Legend will be a good challenge for her, and maybe she will push Roxanne to the limit even more than Lola Vice did, because Lash Legend could be a very well good opponent for her. You know, Lash Legend is very much bigger and Roxanne much smaller. Maybe they have the David versus Goliath storyline with these two women, and maybe it will be a good chemistry. They could work well off each other. Maybe even Lash could defeat Roxanne and become the new NXT Women's Champion. Just a thought. Just a thought. I could see that happening because Lash Legend currently is not doing anything. She's still in the stable metaphor. When we see her after the whole Trick Williams thing was done, she's in backstage segments with Jakara Jackson, just talking to Norm Dar, talking to Ora Mensa, being pretty much used as a valet in a backstage segment rather than being a wrestler, which she is. She's a wrestler. Let's be honest. So number 3 option, Lash Legend. Now we'll go to the 4th person. Another one. She's bigger than Roxanne, almost as tall as Lash Legend. Hasn't been around as long as Lash Legend. Pretty much new, but made a very good impact on NXT. So she's been here, and we're talking about Miss Jada Parker. Maybe Jada Parker is the one to challenge Roxanne for the NXT Women's Championship. Maybe Jada Parker is the one that takes the belt off of Roxanne Perez. Just think about it. Jada Parker still has a feud with Michigan. I know he still had a rival, but she defeated Michigan in Street Fight last week on NXT. Did very well. I know now more Jada Parker right now. Her eyes are set on the NXT North American Women's Championship, which Kelani Jordan holds. Maybe she challenges her and actually win it. But maybe if she does not win it, or she has her run with the NXT North American Women's Championship, maybe she later on comes challenging Roxanne for the NXT Women's Championship. Maybe that's the case, and maybe she'll be the one to defeat Roxanne for her coveted championship because she's bigger, much bigger than Roxanne, a little bit shorter than Lash Legend, but definitely has agility and can definitely move in the ring, and even move better than Lash Legend, I'll say. She's not stiff at all. So maybe she will be a good challenger for Roxanne, and maybe she will be the one to push Roxanne to her limits as far as in the NXT Women's Championship match. She could be a very good option. Yes, I believe she's the next North American champ, but she could eventually, at some point in her career, go for the NXT Women's Championship, maybe right after this run is over. Now, of course, I put her last because I don't see her doing that, but she's still a good option. I see the other 3 women I mentioned are way better, make more sense to face Roxanne now. Jada Parker's way down the line, and then at that time, Roxanne Perez will be out of NXT, probably onto the main roster. And like I said, maybe Lola Vice will be champion by the time she comes around and want a challenge for that belt when she spins the block on that. But I think it'll be too early for Jada Parker to compete for that title since she is new to the brand. She's the newest out of all 3. If you compare the whole Cora, Lash Legend, and Lola, she's like Lola Vice, newer, but Lola Vice got a little bit, she's more headline than Jada Parker. But I think she will be down the line as far as competing for the women's NXT Championship. But it doesn't hurt to throw her name out there because she is one of the best women on the roster, and she's doing her thing as a competitor for the NXT brand. She's always had good matches, very smooth. She always puts in the work, no matter how you spin it. So I could very well see that being the case with Jada Parker. Very solid woman on the roster. So we got to keep that in mind. What's going to happen next? We got to definitely keep that. Take heat into that. Take heed of what's going to happen next. So we definitely going to see who's going to be the next one. But other than that, though, guys, these are the 4 women that I see that could be very good challenges for Roxanne. We talked about Jada Parker. We talked about Lash Legend. We talked about Cora Jade. And we also talked about the main number 1 contender, Lola Vice. And they will all be good competitors for Roxanne's NXT Women's Championship that she currently holds. Been holding on for 3 months, and she's been doing a very, very good job as champion. She's holding the women's division down, and there's nobody stopping Roxanne anytime soon for that matter. So I think these are the best women in that position for that. So that's the way I see it. Other than that, though, guys, you guys let me know in the live chat right now and also on the playback who are the best ones. Who are the best ones to challenge Roxanne Perez for NXT Women's Championship? Who will defeat her? Either one of these two can defeat Roxanne and then knock her off, and maybe she'll go to the main roster afterwards. It's just a thought. But other than that, though, guys, this is going to be very good to see upcoming on NXT who will be challenging Roxanne for a championship. As Roxanne was not on NXT, I think they have something cooked up before next challenge is going to be for that championship. Because Roxanne, she has it, and she's definitely going to be the next woman on the main roster, woman going to the main roster from NXT. Keep an eye out for Roxanne. She's definitely going to be one of them, if not the one, to go to the main roster from the NXT women's division. I definitely see a bright future. Roxanne Perez, only 22 years old, second run as NXT Women's Champion. Oh, she has a definitely bright future. Very young, trained by Booker T. She has it. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen next with Roxanne Perez on NXT. And of course, when she goes to the main roster, because she has it all. So only time will tell what's going to happen next with Roxanne. And that's all I have regarding who will be the ones to defeat Roxanne for the NXT Women's Championship. You guys let me know what you think. Soon two videos will pop up. One will be Money in the Bank 2024 review. Next one will be biggest mistakes of Money in the Bank. You guys already know what it is. It is OUT.